Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday morning. It is super early here in Texas, 4 a.m. But, oh, what's up, PJ? PJ Smith joining us. PJ, you get the pinned comment and an extra 10 points for being here at 4 in the morning. 10 points for PJ. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this Atari stuff that's going on. So I got home from work last night. I was exhausted and I went to bed and I missed a bunch of stuff. I tried to watch some of Casey's and television stream and I passed out as that was getting started. So that was a bummer. Also missed some very important news, and you might see it on my screen over here. There's been some developments with what went on with the Atari 50 collection for the Atari VCS. So I don't own a VCS. I'm not a VCS owner. I have not purchased or possessed this console. And when I say VCS, just to clarify, the new Atari VCS, the one that came out just a few years ago, not the old VCS. Guess you have to specify this sort of thing. So anyway, if you don't know the controversy, here's the deal. So the Atari 50 collection is supposed to come out for the it comes out for everything. It comes out for all the consoles. Oops, this thing is kicked off already. It comes out for all the consoles. It comes out for the Atari VCS. It comes out for Steam. It comes out for Good Old Games, GOG. But the VCS version is supposed to get the DLC just like all the other versions get the DLC. And it's a pretty substantial DLC. It has a bunch of videos and some extra games and stuff like that. Well, they announced just a few days ago that they're like, okay, guys, looks like we're not going to be able to bring this out on the VCS. So there's not going to be any DLC at all. You're not going to get it for free like we said you would on the VCS. And you're not going to get it at all because we can't figure out how to do this for some reason. And it was very confusing. And they also said that the people at GOG were not going to get it, which I'm not exactly sure if this addresses that as well, but we'll get to it in a second. So everybody got real pissed off. Everybody, as we do in the community, massively overreact, although it was important to overreact probably this time. And I want to give BCB a huge amount of credit. I think he actually personally affected the outcome of this. I think because he was reaching out directly to the people at Atari, and he was on other people's streams. Mike's Gaming Gala did a thing. I mean, a lot of different people were talking about this. I saw that Rich from Bacon Ice Cream was talking about this morning as well, or last night. But anyway, Atari puts out an announcement, and I'll bring this up so we can look at it. I don't have Twitter or X. I'm not on there, so I have to look at his thing on on here. So let's look at his thing. Okay, here's his thing. And if we go to the spot where you see the actual response here, they figured out how to... This is the solution, okay? They're not going to be able to get the 50 collection DLC on the VCS. They can't do it. There's a technical bottleneck that prevents them from being able to figure that out, I guess. So the solution is they're going to give both, apparently, the 50 collection and the DLC free to people that bought it on the VCS on a different platform. So you can get it on Steam, PlayStation, Switch, or Xbox. Again, I don't see any address of the GOG issue, so I'm not sure what happens for GOG people. But at least for the VCS, if you contact them, they give you a whole breakdown on how to do it, which, like I said, I'm not on Twitter. This is BCB's thing here. So you can look this up yourself and try to figure out how to do this. But like, if you contact them, you can get a code to get both the 50 collection and the DLC on a different platform. So there you go. There's the solution they've come up with. Hopefully they do the same thing for the GOG people, because otherwise that would be, unfortunate. Oh, we got some we got some chat activity. Silver Wings, what's up, Silver Wings? Still awake. He has been on it. Yes, he has. Absolutely, PJ. Drunky Cheese, evil is among us. He says, blink twice if you're not being a hostage. I can't confirm nor deny my hostage status, unfortunately. I don't know why you're saying that, but that's interesting. You don't like it when I talk about Atari stuff? Is that what it is, Evil? I understand. It's okay. Silver Wings, I'm not on Twitter either. I've never used anything endorsed by Ashton Kutcher. Okay. I don't know what that's about. Apparently something Ashton Kutcher and Twitter related. I don't know. I don't know about all that. My don't know. Anyway. So, I saw this morning when I woke up, and I got up early because Jon Snow, oh my God, Jon Snow. He would not let me sleep. He was like, you're getting up. I'm like, all right, I'm getting up. So I saw this and I wanted to address it. And like I said, there's some videos out there. You can check out BCB's stuff. Rich from Bacon Ice Cream is talking about it as well. But apparently there is a solution. So we don't all have to be pitchforks and torches and climbing the mountain to burn the evil witch or the Frankenstein or whatever in the castle. We can relax a little bit. Evil says, dude, Where's My Car was a great movie for stoners. Never seen that movie, believe it or not. Believe it or not. And then Vinny Nazero. Hi, Cy. Hi, chat. What's up? What's up, Vinny Nazero? So anyway, I just thought it would be interesting to talk about that for a second. I know most people that hang around my channel maybe don't care too much about this sort of thing. I don't own a VCS. I don't talk about the VCS. It's not a console that I play. It's not a console I plan on buying. But, you know, you see a company like Atari, this new Atari, which I kind of like. You see them do something and it's like, oh, this is a bad take. I'm familiar with supporting a company that turns out to do something horrifying. And you're like sitting there like, oh, I thought I liked this company. Do I like this company? You know, I'm familiar with that concept. So it was nice to see that they could turn things around, at least as best they can, I think, and offer some sort of solution that makes sense for people. But they still haven't addressed the GOG thing, which, I mean, like I said, I know most of the people in the community seem to only be really concerned about the VCS end of this, but you know, a lot of people buy games on GOG because they don't want the DRM stuff. They don't want to deal with that aspect of it. They want to have like the freedom to do what they want with the stuff they buy. And, you know, I don't know if that has something to do with the GOG situation. Like maybe there's some kind of copyright issue. They're concerned about, like, I don't know. I really don't know. I would just be speculating, but, they have not addressed it as far as I know, so hopefully that does happen. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they did say something because, like I said, I'm not on X or Twitter, so I don't know. But at least this is a solution for the VCS owners. And that, I think that was most of the people that were having a problem here was the VCS owners. But GOG, I don't think we're supposed to get it free. I don't think it was supposed to be free on GOG. So there's really not as big an issue on the GOG thing. The VCS, they were supposed to get it free. So there you go. Evil says, Atari is always the new Atari since the Ray Kassar era. Well, fair enough. Silverwing says, that's right. I always go GOG because no DRM. Yep. Yeah, you know, Atari's, I mean, that's something we talk about, like everybody, I mean, that's a conversation that gets brought up quite a bit. What is Atari and who is Atari? How is Atari? The original Atari obviously hasn't existed for quite some time. Even back in the day, there's all these like is it Atari or is it not? Jack Tramiel and blah, blah, blah. And, when did that line cross? It is what it is. I don't worry about it too much. I'm not sitting here foolishly believing that this is still around in its original format. I'm not saying that, but I do like a lot of what the new Atari has done. And PJ says, I'm an idiot. What is GOG and DRM? GOG is a service called Good Old Games. It's like Steam. It's a platform on Windows where you can buy games. And their whole gimmick is basically that they don't have digital rights management, DRM, which means, a lot of, like, pretty much every other service like that, like Steam or the EA one or the Origin. There's all these different services on computer, on PC. And basically, like, you buy the license to the game, but you're bound to the service itself, and you can't, like, back up your game to, without their client. Like, there's a lot of things that it's like owning a game on PlayStation or owning a game on Switch. You own it on their service. But with GOG, like, you own your games, you can download them, and you could literally just give the game to somebody else if you want to. Like, you download the game and you have it and you could back it up and do whatever. So it's a little bit different. Fitting to Zero, a bit before my time. Is VCS the same as 2600? This is the confusing thing, right? The original Atari 2600 is called the VCS. That's true, right? But this new VCS is a new console that was put out like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's a console, yeah, but it's really like a mini PC, and it has a store, and it's limited in a lot of ways. Most people that I know that have bought a VCS use it for like an emulator box. They really just put Windows on it and just use it for like an emulator box. They don't use it just for like its actual storefront and stuff like that. So it's a console. It's a console, but it's not one that I've always kind of looked at it like, what? Like, it's been a confusing box to me. So I understand why it would be confusing to anyone that isn't really familiar with it either. Fitting to Zero, GOG is Good Old Games, DRM's is right management. Yeah, okay. Bassarino says, I tried using a gift credit on GOG. They didn't accept my money. Steam doesn't care, so I go Steam. I really don't want my credit card numbers floating online. GOG didn't accept a gift credit card. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Huh, that's interesting. I guess they're only accepting certain things. I did not know that. PJ says, I subscribed to the Ant Stream 1 Absolute Steel for $20 a year. I've heard good things about Ant Stream. I don't like services like that personally for me. Like, I just try to avoid paying for services if I have to. The only service I'm paying for right now at all is the Switch Online thing. And I've got that paid for like the next 2 years. I don't even have Netflix. I turned off my Amazon Prime. I am trying right now to not have any services. Eventually I'll get one, because like what always happens is there's a show comes out on some service that I have to pay for. So then I'll pay for the service for a couple months and then I'll turn it off again. So right now I'm in my no service lull. But eventually I'll get, Netflix or HBO or one of these things. But right now I'm just trying to like skate by. And as far as gaming services, I don't do Game Pass. I don't do Ant Stream. I don't do, this rental service type stuff. It's not something I'm interested in. I think it's cool for a lot of people. It's obviously a good value for a lot of people, but it's not something I do. But $20 a year is not bad. Bassarino, also, I haven't heard of GOG making any hardware, which Valve/Steam is awesome. Yeah, GOG's kind of small. They're not like a big, like, I mean, they're well known and they have a good, dedicated customer base and all that, but they're not like Steam. It's not in the same ballpark. Evil says Pirate Bay is free. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, Pirate Bay sometimes comes with some unexpected consequences. So you might be like, yes, free games. And then be like, oh no, what have I done? And have to deal with certain fallouts from that. But, yeah, Pirate Bay has been around and continues to be around in some form or fashion. Bassarino, LOL, no services for me, just YouTube and game. Word. PJ says, I pirate all my TV and streaming. It's the only way to fly. Had the same pirate service for 4 years. It is incredible. Screw Xfinity and their ridiculous programming costs. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't do that, but I don't begrudge you for doing that because who's paying for TV? And they keep raising the prices on cable. I haven't had cable. Dude, I haven't had cable in at least 5 years. I barely watch regular TV. If I ever do, I watch it off my antenna. And it's usually just football games or like something like that. That's it. And then once the game's over, I'm done watching TV. I'm not watching TV shows on TV. I don't do that. I don't watch them. I don't watch television. Oh my. PJ says, oh, I already read that. Bassarino, maybe one day I'll fold and buy on GOG, but yeah, everyone makes changing seems so easy, but needing new cards, reissues is, yeah, you don't want to do all that. Yeah. No good. No good. So anyway, it was good news to see this whole thing with Atari, figuring this thing out for the VCS people. They put up with a lot of crap, The VCS people, they bought this thing because they're like huge Atari fans and they want to have this thing that's this Atari console. And they're like, they want to be part of that. Some of them paid way too much for it. Like when it first came out, some people paid like $500 for the VCS. And some people got really good deals on it later, but, yeah, I've kind of felt bad for a lot of the VCS people because I'm like, I understand what it's like to be a fan of something that you want to be really cool. And you want to have a fun experience with that. You want to support this idea of this thing. I understand that. It doesn't work out sometimes, and I think the VCS thing, even though it wasn't this tremendous success that it really was never going to be, but like could have been, I guess. Even though it wasn't that, at least it was something that did come out and had legitimate software and hardware and was supported for quite a while. And this was like the last hurrah, I think, for the VCS. Like this was like supposed to be like this last great thing that the VCS people were going to have. Finally, they're going to get their 50 collection with their free DLC. And then that would have been like, okay, that's what the VCS was. That's the story of the VCS. And then it turned out to not be what everybody was promised and hoped. So it's good they came up with a solution, at least for those people. So that was good to hear. Vinny Zero says, I'm going back to Japan in March. Hit me up if you want something. My goal is to get a compact PC engine. Hopefully it's cheap. Wow, Vinny, that's interesting. My daughter is going to visit Japan in May. So I think she's going to be doing something similar, looking for certain things. But I definitely appreciate that. Vinny, if you do start seeing stuff in Japan, feel free to post things on my Discord. There's a link to my Discord on my channel and pretty much every video that I do in the description. And you're more than welcome to post anything you want on my Discord for like deals or cool stuff that you see, stuff like that. So I know that there would be some interest, at least in seeing the stuff. Maybe not like having you buy them or anything, but at least looking at the stuff. So that's pretty cool. PJ says, single person household and Xfinity wants me to pay a monthly bill of $290 in West Virginia. I can't even imagine what they would charge in California. $290 for watching TV? What? When I canceled my cable, I didn't have everything. It was like, some of the extra channels, but it wasn't everything. And it was $100 and something. It was ridiculous. And I was like, I did it for like a few months. And then I was like, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. And I've never regretted getting rid of cable because there's really nothing on TV anyway. All the best shows are on the apps. And you don't have to keep paying for the apps. You just do them once in a while and watch what you want to watch. But, cable, what the hell, man? At $290? Yeah, for $290, you can literally get every app that you want and then spend the rest of the, on whatever else, buy some games and stuff. That's nuts. That's crazy. Yeah. Anyway, PJ says cable, movie, and sports package and internet bundle. That's nuts. That is nuts. That is nuts. Yeah. Anyways. Well, having slept as much as I have, which is a good thing. I got up, like I said, super early. I was forced to by my boss. So I'm up now and I don't have to leave for work for another hour or so. So Evil says watching Cyrus is free. That's true. That's true. I don't charge anything for this service. In fact, I should remind everyone, if you would like to donate or super chat or super sticker or do any form of monetization towards me, you can't because I've disabled them. Ha! I do not accept cash for this performance. At least there's one thing on the internet that's free. Sorry? I mean, you're welcome? I don't know. Anyway, maybe we could play a game or something and hang out for a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. PJ says, you should just do a morning show. Get up with Cyrus. Oh, Lord. Giddy up. Boom, bop, mom. Oh, no. Don't do that, Cy. Don't do that. Silverwing's still got the ads, though. Yeah, well, it's YouTube. You can't get rid of them. There's literally no way to get rid of the ads on YouTube. Sorry. If you figure out a way to do that, to eliminate all ads on YouTube, let me know what that process looks like, because I don't know what that looks like. Vinny Nazero, play an expensive turbo game. Oh my. That's interesting you say it that way. Play an expensive turbo game. Do you think, let me ask you this. We'll just talk for a minute. Sometimes as a YouTube streamer, I think about what we do and what I do specifically, streaming video games and stuff like that. Do you think that sometimes, like when I'm streaming, like, look, I'm just trying to hang out and play video games and do something fun and share this experience. Every TurboGrafx, for an example, every TurboGrafx game I own is a copy. I don't own any CDs or turbo chips or Hue cards or any of that. I just own an EverDrive and a bunch of copied discs that I made. And I'm fine with that because it is extremely expensive. But sometimes when you're streaming and you're sharing stuff and you're doing your thing, I do stop and wonder, do we come across, and you tell me your opinion about this. Do you think sometimes when people like me or other people that are streaming are doing that, do we come across as like braggadocious or something? Like, look at me playing. Oh, I got my, oh, look what I got. Like, is it like that? Because sometimes I feel like I'm doing that and I go, ew, gross. You know, I don't want to do that, but I think there's some of that inherently in the concept of playing older video games and retro stuff. Pretty much like no matter what I do, if I play older stuff, there's some element of like, oh, he's playing this expensive old thing. Wow, look, he thinks he's the shit or something, you know? And I wonder if other people feel like that we think we're bragging all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to play a game and have fun and do stuff and share that. But I do once in a while, like my spidey sense goes off about this and I worry like, wait a minute, what am I doing? And how does this seem to other people? And am I a douche? Like, am I coming across like a massive, disgusting, bloated douche, you know? Sometimes I feel like that might be the case. I want to know what you guys think about that. Something I've thought about bringing up before, but yeah. Okay, back to the chat. Check the chat. Drunk says, Cy and I are going to start a morning political show. Oh my God. Evil politics with Cyrus and Drunky Cheese. PJ says, I don't get ads. I got the premium YouTube. I can afford that since I don't have to pay for Xfinity. I just turned that off. I had that for, I don't know, 3 or 4 months. It's pretty damn good. And now I have ads again and it sucks ass. But again, I'm in my saving money, no extra stuff phase right now, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Oh man. Bass Reno Firefox supports it. Firefox supports it. What does that mean? Supports what? I get, there's so many things going on. I can't keep up with all this stuff. PJ says, I also have fat fingers and can't type on my phone accurately. Word. This is a legit problem. I have this massive problem. Absolutely have the same problem. Silverwings, all my Turbo/PC Engine games are real. All 5 of them. They're expensive, man. They are expensive. The Don joins us. Salute my Dons. Hey, it's the Don. What's up, Don? Vinny Nazero, turbo games are expensive, so I can understand some folks will emulate. They are very expensive. Silverwings, not bragging if you actually play them and not just have them sit on a shelf. Okay, that's fair. PJ, certain streamers come off that way. You do not. You are an everyman, a man of the people. Cyrus 2028. I'm not a crook. Don't blow up my ego. I don't have an ego. Don't blow it up. It's very fragile. It'll explode and shatter into a billion pieces. Like Humpty Dumpty. Yes. The Don, haters going to hate, just have fun. That is true. That is true. That is true. People, there is definitely a segment of people who, no matter what you do, it'll be the wrong thing. And no matter what you say, you're a terrible human being. So you can try to please people like that, but literally you're wasting your time. And so, yeah, you're correct. You are correct, sir. Look who it is. Chris Courage. Chris Courage. He says, nah, you come across as let me share my enjoyment of this with you. There are some others online who don't do it that way, though. Well, that's true. That's true. Chris Courage is, if you guys are not familiar with Chris, infomercial time. Chris Courage is the awesome friend of mine who has worked on several of my game consoles and done mods, AV mods, repaired the CD drive of my TurboGrafx CD, repaired the capacitors of my one of my Super Famicoms. Just done a tremendous amount of work for me. Did a huge amount of work on my PC Engine Duo. Did a S-Video mod on it and cleaned it up, repaired some internal stuff on it. I can't even remember everything Chris has done. He's the man. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the real deal. The dude who can work on your game console if you have something that needs a modification or something like that. So ask him, see if he can do it, see what he charges. Talk to him. He's got a YouTube channel. You can get a hold of him through that, or you can talk to him right now. He's in the chat. Thank you, Chris. Drunky Cheese says, only thing I brag is playing with an OG Super Nintendo control with a USB adapter. I use a potato and emulators. Ooh, a Super Nintendo controller. Somebody thinks he's the shit. Oh my. No. Yeah, anyway. Bassarino, I don't know, Si. I can see how retro is nostalgic. I think some people just do it backwards. I think some people just do it backwards. Okay. Big Block Plymouth. What's up, dude? Big Block is here. Morning, Si. Are you bragging about your games again? Yes, that's what I'm doing. Look at me with my fancy games. Oh my. Yes, look at this Xbox 360 controller. Isn't that nice? It's even wired. It's not even a name brand. Ooh. I bet you wish you had this. Drunky Cheese, is this the Fat Fingers Can't Type support group? Finally, I found my place. One of us. Yes, welcome. Absolutely. Is Chris Courage related to Kid Courage? Keith Courage is what I think you're going for. I don't know. Kid Courage? I don't know. But yes, they are related. They're brothers. Chris says, hi, you mentioned my work so often, it's almost turned into a comical bit. It'll never be comical, even though it is a bit. But it's a sincere one. It's one that I repeat, and I repeat every time I see you because I'm grateful. And it's not just about me being grateful. I want to help you reach people. And there are people that hang out or see these streams sometimes that actually need some work done and can't figure out where to go. I mean, I actually have had several people over the years, some of which may or may not be in the chat, who have actually asked me, hey, I really want to get this thing done. Where can I get it done? Do you know anybody? And thankfully, I do know somebody. So I'm trying to help those people as well. It's not just that I'm grateful, and it's not just that I'm trying to help you. I'm also trying to help other people. So I think it's important if we have a resource that we know of and can help people with, we should. So I'm trying to. That's what I try to do. Plus, I get to brag about knowing you. I name drop you. I'm a name dropper. PJ says, Chris is a wizard. My ColecoVision is incredible. It's incredible. It is. That's awesome. Vinny Nazero, Chris, I have some Game Boy lights that need. Oh, that would be cool. That would be cool. Well, yeah. Talk amongst yourselves. See if you can work something out. I'm going to ask you, Sai, to connect me later. Dude, absolutely. Like, all you have to do is look up Chris Courage's YouTube channel, and his contact information is there, and you can actually just, you can shoot off an email or whatever. But yeah, whatever I can do to help. Drunky Cheese, I wish it was in the US to send Chris my 2600 to be modded and my Game Boy to get backlit. I don't know. Chris, do you do Game Boy backlights and stuff? I never asked you about that. That's an interesting proposition. Wow. Chris says, I'm in the Discord as well. Well, there you go. Go to my Discord, and maybe y'all can work something out. Maybe you can work something out. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. So this show turned into the Atari VCS, Atari DLC announcement show, and then the Chris Courage, we can get your console modded show. That's what this turned into, which is good. That's fine. I really didn't know what I was going to do this morning other than talk about the VCS situation. But yeah. So anyways, yeah, join my Discord. You guys can talk. You don't have to talk on my Discord, but it's an option. And maybe he can hook you up. Maybe things can get worked out and situations can be resolved and this sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, Quizcatul. I don't know how you pronounce it. I try. I get it wrong. He's probably told me before, but I don't know. He says, dude, CIA finally confessed that the COVID lab, oh boy. Okay. All right. That's interesting. PJ, a morning chat gaming show would be great if you ask me. Yeah, I don't have the, I used to do shows where I would prepare a bunch of content and do like a bunch of work on animation stuff and, really put a lot of work in to the concept of a show. I don't really do shows anymore. I just hang out and do whatever. It's just a lot of work. Vinny Nizero, Chris is renamed to Keith. I think Keith might be his middle name. Chris Keith Courage. Sounds reasonable. The question is Chris Courage, how does Chris Courage, let me ask you this. We got him in the chat. This is an opportunity. And I don't think I've ever asked him this question. So maybe we can get an answer. Chris, how do you feel about Keith Courage? Do you feel like it's a good representation of the TurboGrafx 16? Do you like that game personally? Like, obviously you like it, you're using it in your name, but what are your thoughts about that game? Because it's the pack-in, the original pack-in for the TurboGrafx. A lot of people have a lot of different thoughts about that game. I don't know too many people that have said good things about Keith Courage. I personally have always liked it, but I understand why some people haven't liked it because it is a little slow in the overworld sections. When you go underground, you become like the, robot version or whatever. It's a lot faster and more interesting. But I'm just curious, like, how do you feel that this game encapsulates the library of the TurboGrafx? Is it a good pack-in? Like, what are your overall thoughts? Vinny Zero, when Chris goes underground, he gets Iron Man armor. Yeah. As do we all. Chris says, good game, but not necessarily system seller. I give it a solid B. Wow. Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's not the best by any stretch of the imagination. It's not the best game on the TurboGrafx 16. But I think it's, sometimes the internet decides something, and then you're like wrong if you challenge the decided upon belief. And, there's certain reasons for that. I think early on there were YouTubers or YouTube channels that like had an opinion about something. And then people went along with that opinion because they didn't even really have an experience with that thing, whether it's a game console or a game or whatever. But they just kind of were like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, fuck that thing or whatever. That thing's stupid. And then later people have their own experience with it. It's like when someone, this is what I liken it to. It's like a movie comes out and you're like, oh, that looks kind of interesting. I wonder if I want to see that. And then like two of your friends come to you and say, dude, that movie sucks. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I won't see it. And then 5 years go by and you happen to catch that movie on TV or something. And you're like, whoa, this is a damn good movie. You're like, 5 years ago, I could have watched this movie and really enjoyed it, except that I listened to other people. You know, I've had that happen to me so many times, you know? So anyway, it's weird how we kind of, like I said, we have a collective viewpoint. Like people will decide this is the truth. And then it's not the truth, but they will decide that. And they're kind of afraid to go against it, or they're not willing to put forth the effort to find out for themselves or something. And then when you do find out, maybe you have a different opinion. So I always think it's interesting, especially with the TurboGrafx, because people have a lot of preconceived ideas about what they think is going on with that console. And then like they finally get an experience with it. Here's another example of this. So recently my buddy Eugene, who does the Epically Geeky channel and stuff, he was setting up a Raspberry Pi yet again. He's done this, I don't know. We all do this every so often, right? You set up an emulation box or you do whatever, and then like something happens and you lose your shit and you have to set it up again later, blah, 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 whatever. Or you mod a console and you add all the ROMs to it and stuff. Anyway, this is like, I don't know, probably the 6th, 7th, 8th time he set up a Raspberry Pi. So he's setting up a Raspberry Pi with all the emulators and all the ROMs and everything. And he's setting up the TurboGrafx stuff. And he starts talking to me and he's like, hey, I can't get any of these CD games to work. And of course, the issue turns out to be the BIOS, which is pretty much always the issue when people have problems setting up the TurboGrafx CD stuff. They can't quite figure out what to do with the BIOS and all this kind of stuff. And that's what it was. That's what the case was. And he starts asking me, like, is it really worth setting up other than for Dracula X, you know, for Rondo? And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Like, are you telling me you really haven't had much experience with the CD games? And he goes, I've never played the CD games. And I was like, whoa. Like, I mean, you know, he's talking to me about this. So, you know, I'm like, what? So he's like, yeah, is there any other good ones? And I'm like, is there any other good ones? So I start listing off, boom, 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 and all these games and stuff, you know, Lords of Thunder, Gate of Thunder, Riot Zone, you know, East Book 1 and 2, East Book 3, you know, freaking R-Type Complete, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on, you know, Super CD games, you know, Sapphire and all the, you know, all this stuff. He's like, oh, okay. I sent him this long list. Anyway, so he starts playing these CD games and he's like, holy crap, these are amazing. And I'm like, they're pretty good, yeah. And he's like, wow, I just never knew they were good. I always heard they were crap. And I'm like, you know, this is what I'm talking about. Like, sometimes we just kind of decide or hear something and then make up our mind and we never really give it a shot. And some, you know, I really think that that's held a lot of us back as gamers, you know, not willing to like find out for ourselves, you know, just sort of going with the flow, you know. We got to do more of that. We got to find out for ourselves. I think it's really important. You know, the 3DO is another example. Like I never cared about the 3DO until a few years ago. My buddy John Retro Bro got a 3DO. He started talking to me about it, got me interested, and I got a 3DO and I was like, oh my God, these games are like classic PC games. Like, so I love my 3DO, but I never was even going to get a 3DO, you know? Sometimes you got to find out. Sometimes you got to find out. All right. Sorry, I got away from the chat for a minute. Let's see. Chris Courage infomercial, 100%. I will shill for Chris forever. I don't care. Call me whatever you want. I don't mind. It's fine. PJ, a morning chat gaming show would be great if you asked me. Chris is renamed to Keith. Oh, I already read this part. Okay. Let's see. Okay, Chris Courage, good game, but not necessarily system seller. I give it a solid B. Drunky Cheese says they messed up. Bonk should have been the pack-in. Well, Bonk wasn't available right away. But yeah, they did eventually make it the pack-in. It actually was like the second year or something like that. But it wasn't right away. Absolutely. It's like, they had Altered Beast for the Genesis at first, which I love Altered Beast, but not everybody did. And of course, Sonic sold a hell of a lot more systems for sure. Oh, that's what Chris is talking about. It's better than Altered Beast as one-player experience. Vinny Zero, Chris versus Bonk. Ooh. Oh. Big Block, Keith Courage and Alpha Zones is one of the 3 Total Hue cards I own. It reminds me of my buddy having TurboGrafx 16 back in the day. There's a huge nostalgia. I mean, there is. I know that. But I still like Keith Courage, even with the nostalgia glasses. I think it's a decent game, especially the underground stuff. It's actually really fun. But I don't mind the overworld stuff. I like it that it slows down a little bit before it gets back into it. I don't mind that. The little RPG type elements. Drunky Cheese says, Pat, the NES punk, told us Keith Courage was bad, so we must believe it. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying. Like, certain YouTubers, I know that a lot of people have done that with the Angry Video Game Nerd. Like, I never even watched the Angry Video Game Nerd. I found out about him like way after he'd already been around for a long time. And I'm playing my games and doing stuff. And when I was starting on YouTube, doing things and talking about games that I like, and I had a lot of people come in my chats and were like, that game's fucking garbage. AVGN said this and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, who? And what are you talking about? Like, and then there's another example of that. This guy, oh man, what was his channel? Famous channel. I watched it over and over. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but like he was obsessed with Truxton. Like he was always talking about Truxton. Like it was the most amazing shit ever. And I was like, Truxton? Like, okay. And then like it became like this thing where everybody was like, Truxton's the most amazing shoot 'em up ever. And I'm like, I mean, it's okay, but what? So sometimes people like influencers can have influence over an entire community just by having an opinion and putting something out there. It may not even actually be their real opinion. They might just be like made a video and had a strong opinion because they were trying to do a bit and people thought that was their real opinion or whatever. So it's interesting how this kind of thing can affect other people's interpretations of things that have no real experience with those games. It's kind of funny. Silverwing says, only Turbo CD game I have is Fighting Street. Oof. I mean, it's a pretty good port of Street Fighter 1, but what is that really saying? Like, yeah. Wow. Yeah, Silverwings, burn some games, man. Get you some, there's so many good games on TurboGrafx. So, Drunken Cheese, you should play some TurboGrafx CD games to educate us. Good God. Educate. No, I'm not an educator. I'm not an educator. I am not that dude. Vinny Zero, I saw Pat last year in Los Angeles gaming. Very few people went to his booth. I know that we've all had our histories with different people and stuff. I don't have a problem with anybody, and I wish people well. I hope, I don't know what's going on with Pat or with any of these people, but I don't have any ill will towards anybody, and I hope they do well. I hope they do well. Drunky Cheese says, oh wow, Vinny, he was popular back then. I actually used to like his. I listened to the podcast that him and Ian did for many years. I actually listened to it for I want to say a good 3 or 4 years before I had any interaction with them personally. And I always liked their podcast, especially back in the day before it became really toxic, but like back in the day, it was really fun. It was a really fun. See, I'm not one of those guys who enjoys people shitting on other people. I'm not, I don't enjoy that. I don't know why people get so addicted to that, concept. They look for that. They want that. They want it. That's what they want everything to be, is just like a bunch of drama and shitting on each other. And it's really strange that we in the gaming community got caught up in that. And I'm not discounting myself, because I got caught up in that shit too. It happens, it's so easy to get drawn into a bunch of bullshit, but I don't enjoy it at all. So yeah. But I did enjoy their podcast very much back in the day. Very much, him and Ian. I like Ian a lot. I think Ian's very funny. Let's see. Oh, hey, would you blow me? How you doing, Doc? How's it going? Good to see you. Hola. PJ Smith, so many consoles messed up the pack-in. Dude, yes. Why did the 7800 come with pole position 2? That's so bizarre. I mean, I like pole position 2. It's fine, but that's a strange pack-in. And the 5200 came with the Super Breakout, I think. I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. Oh man, the Master System came with what did the Master System come with? It came with the built-in games. It depends on which model you had, right? Hang On, and Safari Hunt, right? And Hang On's fine. It's another one with the racing game pack-in. It's very strange. Don't know why you would do that. You have so many available things you could put on the Master System. I mean, later they put Alex. Oh. This is the time I normally wake up. Alex Kidd, Miracle World. Eventually they did that. But, yeah. Anyway. Interesting. Hey, would you blow me? I'm just going to say Haywood. Says, I could never beat Keith Courage until I realized I can farm those gold cats. Oh yeah, there you go. You have to. You absolutely have to. Hey, Cyrus, how you been? I've been good, man. I've been good. I've been really good. I'm in a good place mentally and emotionally. Financially, not so much. I have too many bills and my car payment is ridiculous. But I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. Obviously still eating. I'm okay. I'm good. It's good to see you around, man. Classic Game Room. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Classic Game Room with the Truxton thing. Yeah. Chris Courage, that was yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I totally blanked on that. Vinny says I prefer Raiden or the Ray series. Well, if it comes to shoot 'em ups, I'm going to have immediate, like the first two games that come to mind for me is Gate of Thunder and Lords of Thunder. And that's just because I'm a TurboGrafx fanatic and those have such an impact in my thought process. I've played the ever living crap out of both of those. I love those. R-Type is also in that ballpark. Life Force and Gradius, or Gradius, as some people say. But yes, there's so many good shoot 'em ups. Truxton is not even like on my radar for like top shoot 'em ups, but a lot of people think it's the best one. I'm not going to say, you can believe whatever you want. And it's a lot of it's related to your experience. And that's what we need more of, is people having that personal experience instead of just like I said earlier, just kind of going with the flow, So if somebody has an opinion, I'm glad they do. I'm glad they have played the game and they have a favorite. That's good. Haywood says, anyone who thinks that is that Mega Man 2 is the best 8-bit Mega Man has never played 4. Oh yeah. Oh man. Cause it just got more, you got more features as you went, right? Mega Man 3 is probably my favorite because that's the one I've played the most and I owned that back in the day. And I just really like Mega Man 3. And And then, of course, the next one that's my favorite would probably be Mega Man X4 for the Saturn. And that's because I played the ever living crap out of that and had that forever. But again, it goes to your experience. The ones on the Super Nintendo, I've not played as much as I want to. I do own the carts, and I definitely need to do that more. But there's so many Mega Mans. But yeah, it's interesting. People have opinions a lot of times for the wrong reasons. And when I say wrong reasons, what I mean is just taking somebody else's word for something, or being afraid to, maybe not afraid, but being unwilling to like go find out, That's what I mean when I say wrong reasons. Chris says, I actually like Fighting Street CD. I like it too. It's wonky as hell. It's janky. That should be another Jankuary game. But I like it too. I had that game on TurboGrafx CD back in the day. Yeah, I bought it. I remember buying that at Walden Software in the Killeen Mall in Texas. And it was like $30 when I bought it. And I mean, I played the arcade before that. And I was very impressed that it was basically the same as the arcade, actually better in some ways. But I couldn't really show it to my friends. Like it's one of those games that's like you might personally really like and be impressed with. But I knew I was like, if I show this to one of my friends that's played Street Fighter 2, that's not going to work out very well. So like anytime I did show it to a friend, I had like a 15-minute like presentation before the game where I talked to them about how the original game was before I actually showed it to them. Cause I was like, if I show them just this game, they're going to be like, man, the TurboGrafx is crap. I'm like, no. Oh man. I took the TurboGrafx very personally. Absolutely. Chris says, so since there wasn't anything better to compare Fighting Street to, it was fun at the time. Yeah. Haywood says, Cyrus is best buddies with a guy named Rack. Oh, Lord. Oh, yes. Our good old buddy from back in the day. I hope he's doing well. I don't have nothing against him. Perspective is good. The older you get, the more experience you have, the more perspective you have. And I went back and a couple years ago, I went back and rewatched some of the stuff that still exists between me and him. And I was like, you know what, man? I think we got off on the wrong foot immediately because of me. I think I didn't understand what he was doing, and I took it personally and overreacted, and I had no experience with that sort of thing happening to me on the internet. And I really created that whole mess for myself. So that was it was good to kind of go back and reflect on that whole situation, and I know him and a lot of other people on the internet do that. They make a living doing that sort of thing, going around, law cowing people and using them for content. Like, it's just something that happens on the internet. And Leo, my buddy Leo DS, he did try to warn me that that's what was happening at the time. And I was just not in a headspace to understand that back then. But, yeah, I hope he's doing all right. I don't have no problems with the guy. It is what it is. Drunken says, add me, Frank. Frank is the best. Oh, Frank. Yeah. Chef Bernard D. Wow. I haven't seen that name. Hi to everybody and blessings to one and all. Each person reading this is an incredible and amazing legend. Thanks to everyone for being lovely and awesome. All right. Well, somebody's cooking. What's up, Chef? That's an interesting, I've never seen that sort of comment before, but thank you. All right. Haywood says, Alex Kidd. Yeah. Chef says, I am so glad you are doing good mentally and emotionally and totally understand the financial detriment too. I am in exactly the same boat. Yeah. It's tough. It's good to be like, I'm happy. I'm perfectly fine. It would be nice to have a little more money. I'm not going to lie. It would be nice. Haywood says, Tyrion was my favorite. Tyrion. You talking about, is there something I'm not seeing? There's probably somebody, I don't know. Vinny Nazero, do you feel horizontal and vertical shooters should be in the same bracket? I think so. I don't know. Some people get real caught up in the difference between those. Yeah, like I remember my buddy, I did hear, I've heard people, I'll put it like this. I have friends who only like one or the other. They only like the vertical ones or they only like the horizontal ones. I like both. I'm not, I don't, they are different. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of just lump them together because some shoot 'em ups have both elements in them. You know, you might be going this way and then you might be going this way, or then it might change in the game. Like, so I don't get too caught up in that. I really don't. Chef says, reminder to everyone to make sure you guys take care of your mental health, guys. I know it's tough having bad mental health. So be happy and healthy, guys. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Chef. Thank you for that. Luke has joined us. Luke. Hola, amigo, whatever. Haywood says, what strength, but don't, what? I don't know what you're saying. Wow. Don't for glog. I don't know. I can't read that. You have spoken a language I do not know, Haywood. Trolls. You know, trolls come and they go, and they say what they want to say and do what they want to do. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I don't get worked up about it. If I got to block people, I block people, you know, and it'll happen if it has to. I'm not worried about it. Drunk Evil says, I'm having a Coors Light. It's a little right at 5 a.m. All right. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Haywood says horizontal and vertical should not be in the same bracket. Okay. Well, there you go. Strong opinions. That's okay. Luke says, I only like vertical. Ooh. I bet. Haywood, Tyrion is a vertical shooter from 1995-ish. Oh, really? Okay. I thought you were talking about from Game of Thrones or something. I was like, Tyrion. Absolutely amazing. You can earn money between stages to upgrade your ship and change weapons. We'll have to check that out. I'm not familiar with that game. That's a quote from Street Fighter 1. Oh, I see. I don't remember that being in there. Vinny says, I like running guns like Gunstar, but they are kind of both vertical and horizontal. Yeah. Chris said that was a Fighting Street joke. Totally missed that one. What about isometric shooters? Like Viewpoint, maybe? Something like that? Or Zaxxon? I like those. Those are fun. It's hard to tell where you're at, though. That's the only problem I have is like, have a little trouble with the spatial element. But I do like them. Evil says it's 6 a.m. in the East Coast, so it's allowed. All right. Luke says Tyrion Lannister is also one of the greats. Indeed. Fair point. I'm trying to put the link in, but it keeps getting deleted. Oh, it probably won't let you do the link. Probably won't let you. Sorry about that. My bad. 6 a.m. in Ottawa. Zaxxon is all memory. Yeah. Different. Zaxxon, it depends on which version you're playing, because some of them are not the same. You know, some of the old console versions are they're not really isometric. But the ones that are, that's my favorite Zaxxons. Even though it is a little, like I said, difficult to get a handle on. I do like those very much. Well, guys, I'm going to have to go. I got to get my last little bit of preparation done before I go to work, to my job that I have, to the place where I work, where I earn a paycheck. Yeah, I got to leave here in about 10, 15 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up here, but I want to thank everybody for coming to hang out. To just repeat the news real quick, there's a solution that's been presented from Atari. If you were looking for your free DLC for the Atari 50 collection on the VCS, of course I don't, and I don't have a VCS, but I do recognize that there's a lot of people in the community that have bought VCSs and we're looking forward to getting that DLC. Well, the solution is if you contact them, apparently they will give you codes for the Atari 50 collection with the DLC, but it's going to have to be on another platform like Steam or Xbox or PlayStation or Switch or whatever. The GOG situation, they were not promised the free DLC, and apparently it's still not coming to GOG. So I don't know if there is a solution that they're offering for GOG people because of that. Probably not, but at least the VCS thing, there is that news. Also, one more time, if you're looking for console mods or any kind of work to try to fix or repair older systems that you have, talk to Chris Courage. Come to my Discord. You can talk to him there. You can talk to him here. You can go to his YouTube channel. But Chris will help you out. And buy my chocolate shake, which is, it's got all the vitamins and nutrients you need with the new formula that's been formulated for your formula needs. It can prevent all forms of illness and heal the blind and the sick. Anyway. Chris says, and it's time for me to go to bed. Have a good one. Okay, well, Chris will get back to you when he wakes up. But anyway. Silverwing says, I bought Sonic and Knuckles complete in box off eBay. Expect to play through. Hell to the yes. Hell to the yes. Are you going to combine it with Sonic 3 and do the full experience? I think that's supposed to be like part 1 and 2 of the same game or something like that. That would be really cool. Luke says, very generous for Atari to do that. They've been awesome with supporting their fans with a VCS. Yeah, I'm glad they're making it right. That was very quick that they came up with that. They didn't let that hang out there too long. So that's good. Big Block says, thanks. I have a great day, everyone. Evil says, I'm going to clip that Alex Jones parody. Oh, you want to you use this for your clip. Here you go. You want to use that's Nick reference. We all love Nick. Here's a clip for you, Evil. You're listening to Evil Streams, Drunky Cheese, whatever you want to call him, the master of all things evil and video games combined. Happy Jankuary, everyone. There you go. There's your clip. Enjoy. I don't have Sonic 3. Dude, Silverwings, get Sonic 3. Because if you combine those, it's like a Voltron thing for your Genesis that completes, like Michael Jackson is unlocked and comes out of the screen. Ooh. Anyway, that doesn't happen. But you should definitely get Sonic 3 for your lock-on. Technology. Anyway, guys, have a good day. Thanks for hanging out. Haywood says, I just noticed that half of my comments were deleted by YouTube. Well, that sucks. I would have liked to have seen those. Damn it. How dare you, YouTube? Silverwings, my brother had Sonic 3. You got to just buy a loose cart. Like, go to a retro store just to have it so you can do that. You can have that experience. I know you won't do that because you want to have the full thing, but I'm just saying. I want good things for you. I want you to have that experience. Anyway, but your brother had Sonic 3. I think Sonic 3 by itself is great, but when you combine them, it's the peanut butter and jelly of the Genesis. All right. Yes, I know, Silverwings. I know you get them complete in box. So anyway, I'll shut up. Haywood says, Merry Christmas, clearance. Yeah. All right. Anyway, guys, have a great day. I'll see you guys later. Y'all take care. And I got to go. Bye.